This is the State of the Frogs with Mark Campbell on location here in Salt Lake City, Utah, presented by Texit Coin. Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, same to you. Unbelievable. 2026.
And you said you were the last basketball game of 25, and you rang in the new year well with a win, and now you get to kind of hopefully do it again to start the new year off, right? So what was that one like?
Man, incredible. Like you mentioned, literally the last game of college basketball, 2025. Able to get a big-time road win at BYU. They were 12-1 and have a really good ball club. And then, I mean, during that game, how about Olivia Miles to end 2025 with a bang? Let's just drop another triple-double. Jay, these things aren't normal. They're not, and she's making it normal.
Do you have a conversation with her, like when you talk about these things? Because after the game the other day, she's like, if it happens, it happens. I just like doing it because it helps my team. Yeah. And obviously everyone wants to get the assist, the basket, the rebound. Everyone's in the same goal. But do you have these conversations with her about that?
No, not at all. And I got a unique perspective, right? I got to sit there, the all-time triple-double leader, men or women, Sabrina Ionescu. Yeah. And I got to be there for 26 of those. Yeah. And so it got to the point with Sabrina, it kind of became normal, right? Now that Olivia, this was her fourth one, and with about 4 minutes to go in the game, I saw at immediate timeout, she's a rebound and assist away. I had no idea she was even close. I thought she had just a good, solid game. The kid got another one, and I didn't even notice it, so it's almost becoming normal.
Well, then she, I guess in the Big 12, she passed up Brittany Griner, which is another huge name. You talked about Ionescu and then Caitlin Clark, but she had 4 triple doubles in 25 days. And then I think it took Griner a whole year.
Yeah. No, the pace that she's doing at, first of all, only 2 players in the history of college basketball have had 4 triple doubles in the same month, her and Sabrina. That's absurd. And then I think the other record was it's the most triple doubles in a season in Big 12 history. And we still got 16 games to go. And so, but the way she does it, like you said, it's almost effortless because her IQ, her feel for the game is natural. Whether she rebounds, she creates for her teammates, she scores, none of it's forced. It's just Olivia, the way she impacts the game. And that's why it's hard to slow her down because her ability to pass and see the game. And so the way she's doing these triple doubles, we're winning. Right. While she's doing it, which is incredible. We're 4-0 in all of the games that she's had a triple-double. So she's just special. We get 16 more of these Big 12 games to go watch her do her thing.
Well, you had Clara Silva led the team in points that day, too, with 15. And then you had 4 other girls, double digits. And then I think I read something that if we stay on the top 8 of double digits, the 14 games you've won so far, you've won all of them by double digits.
Yeah. Man. First of all, how about Clara Silva? She's just coming into her own this season, watching her blossom and gain confidence and impact the game. Like last night, she has 17 on the road against a good BYU team, and she did it effortlessly within the team. And so it's just fun. Our team's still got a long ways to go. We're still getting better. Today at practice, we got to put in some new things to try to make sure we're maximizing our team's offensive abilities. So that's fun, and you're just tinkering. And while you have Olivia here, you want to make sure we're maximizing her abilities. So it challenges you as a coach. It's fun. It's awesome. Our staff's loving it. I know the team loves playing with her. They get a bunch of wide open shots when she's on the court.
Well, number 8 in the country, and I think you're one of the 8 now teams that are undefeated.
7. We're down to 7.
Down to 7. Was that the LSU loss?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, down to 7. How do you, without really, I know you want to win, so keeping the undefeated streak, is important. But how do you keep the main thing and just kind of like win because you guys are good, not necessarily to keep a streak up?
Yeah. No, I think that's, something our staff does really well. Over the last 2 years, last year, so I think we're 48-4 overall in the last 2 years, which is kind of crazy when you say that out loud. But the key to that isn't anything other than lock in, prepare, do your scouts, get the team mentally right, and then go play the game. And we don't skip any steps on this journey. And so right now, I think we're game away from the longest winning streak to start a season for men or women at TCU. You know, if we can get this one done, we'll be 15-0 to start the year, and we'll break our record that we set, you know, in year one. And so I don't even know if the team's aware of it. Honestly, we don't really talk about this stuff. You just try to stay present and prepare for the next team. Treat everybody equal. It's one win, one loss, any way you slice it. But last year and this year, you know, you've had two of the oldest teams in the country. I think there's something to it. There's a maturity and a hunger with the groups that we've had here. And so it's awesome. But no, there's no predetermined, we got to do this or accomplish this goal. It's, listen, we got to lock in and be ready to win the next game.
And then over 60 games, I think you guys are 53-7 since you guys have been here. And, you know, it's just exciting. And 15-0 would also be the best start ever for TCU. Yeah. So you're not tying a you're breaking it. So that's a pretty neat deal. So the last thing, and then we had Donovan Hunter joining us after break. So that'll be a fun one. You had 11 days break, and then you've been here since Tuesday. And, you know, are you leaving Saturday after game, Sunday? That's a long time. You have two games. So how do you kind of keep everyone? You haven't skipped a beat.
Yeah. Well, we're nervous about it. That 11-day break is the longest break I've had during my coaching career. And so, you know, we gave the team 5 days off, which is a big break during the basketball season. And so, but you trust this group. Again, they're really mature. But heading into that BYU game, you know, that first half, it took us, one, to get our wind and our legs up and running, and then to settle into a good rhythm. You know, that second half defensively, we separated. And when we get stops and get out in transition, and we're explosive. And, you know, we went on a run in that third quarter that separated. But that second half, we imposed our will. We played high-level basketball. But that first half, I think, you know, that 11-day break impacted us. But now we're getting going again. We got a really good Utah team, but we're back in a rhythm again. We're from here till March Madness, it's 2 games a week, and you kind of settle into a nice flow.
That's good. So, again, we're on location here in Salt Lake City, State of the Frogs with Mark Campbell. We're going to take a quick break. Donovan Hunter on the other side of this, and then after that, we'll be back to talk with Mark about Utah.
Keeping score of your finances but missed the Bitcoin wagon? There's a second chance called Texit Coin. Score big at texitcoin.org.
A visit. The lip we sit can house the 9 zips. For rock we can't do nothing, but this we come equipped. Off disc, off tape, rap blast until from 8. The really truly fat, the fly on the flip. Coco gotta know how planets gotta roll. Speak the mega cool, get funky as a goal. It's calm, relax, we're only some new jacks that acts on the funk but don't play the role. Where you from?
All right, thanks to our friends at Texit Coin for making this all possible. We're joined by TCU junior guard Donovan Hunter. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Happy New Year as well.
Happy New Year.
It's nice to kind of ring in the new year with a win, right?
No, very nice.
That was good. Okay, so first of all, before we talk basketball, Medford, Oregon. What was it like growing up in Medford, Oregon?
I would say it's funny, everyone laughs because I call it a small town. I mean, it is smaller compared to some cities, but it's just very family oriented, basketball related. Everyone's kind of focused in on basketball and only that. So it was I didn't do much in my hometown, but I still love it. So. Well,
we heard some things about Medford that are cool, right? It is known to be the world's first known place that has a Bigfoot trap.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So
well, maybe I've seen Bigfoot. For anyone that's watching, there are Bigfoot statues that do just randomly appear in the hometowns. It's like a tourist attraction now. Yeah. I don't know much about it, but we just heard that there's a Bigfoot trap in your hometown, which is pretty neat, Maybe I'll go check it out when I go.
Also, a couple other things. I guess it's the Rogue River. Is that how you say it? They filmed River Wild there with Meryl Streep and Kevin Bacon. Really? So that's where they filmed that.
Okay, that's funny.
But I thought what was also cool is Rogue Creamery has been voted to have the best cheese in the world.
Really?
I don't know if you like cheese or anything.
I do like cheese. I kind of lay off on it now, but I know that cheese, especially in my hometown, just with all the dairy farms and everything near us, it's like a very popular thing.
Yeah, well, those three things, Bigfoot, River Wild, and cheese. And Donovan Hunter, the home of Donovan Hunter. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so South Medford High School, you didn't play your first couple of years because you were injured, right?
Yes.
Next couple of years, and then your senior year, you were in the state championship game. What was South Medford High School like?
Yeah, it's a very basketball-oriented high school. Our conference isn't very competitive. It was, working towards getting to the state championship, because then it was finally able to have some good competition. So that was kind of our main goal for the year, is get to the tournament so we can play some good teams. So I just remember all the good basketball players in my town would always transfer to South Medford because that was kind of the basketball school. So it was a cool atmosphere. Everyone showed up. It was a good fan base.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, to play, not many people get to play for a state championship.
Right.
So that's pretty neat, especially in a town like that. I don't know if the town is that small.
Yeah.
Or is it?
It is pretty big if you look up the population.
Yeah.
I just know it's pretty much a town where everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
So it feels small.
Well, that's awesome. So family, parents, two brothers, one older, one younger, pretty cool. And I guess the question is, how'd you get into basketball? And your parents ran a training facility. So what's family like, and
Yeah.
kind of what got you into the sport?
Yeah, so my dad it was called Slam earlier in the day. It's not a thing anymore, but it was kind of a small AAU team up in the Portland area where my older brother played. So my dad coached my older brother. So when my dad was on dad duty, I would go to the gym. And that's pretty much the only place I was brought to when my dad was on dad duty. So, and my mom was running errands. So I was always watching, and I was like, that looks fun. I was really competitive when I was young. So I was like, I wanted to join in on the drills with all the guys and do all the things that they were doing. So that's kind of where I started to pick up on it. My parents are very easygoing. So whatever us kids kind of, voice an interest in, they wanted us to pursue it. And for me, that was basketball. So I would say like kindergarten on, like very, very young, I was just basketball. And then very fortunate that my parents owned a training facility when I was in high school. It was kind of around the time that I started my knee injuries and stuff. So it was weight focused, weight transformation, basketball. It was a bunch of different things. So
Other sports. I mean, I read something you played volleyball or liked volleyball, or multi-sport athletes. Did you play any?
I played soccer when I was young.
Nice.
But then, there's 3 kids and I was doing both sports full time. So it was kind of, okay, you got to kind of choose which one, because that's a lot of kids to get to different places. So I chose basketball partially. I really love soccer too, but it's Oregon, so it's raining all the time. So it's like, I want to be indoors. I do not want to play in the rain and the cold.
So what was the recruiting process to Oregon State? Kind of how did all that come about, and how'd you end up there?
Yeah, being an Oregon kid, it was easier for me to have, unofficials and kind of pop into games and be more visible to them. And they were able to watch my games. But with my history of injuries, my recruiting process was a lot different than a lot of kids. So it was like I'd get on a high and people would be watching me, and then I'd get hurt again. So it's kind of like, can we recruit this girl because she's getting hurt a lot? So for them, it was kind of a consistent school that was always paying attention to me. And then I think by junior year, or going into my junior year, I don't know the time frame, but somewhere along there, they finally offered me. And it was kind of just like, okay, they kind of stuck with me even throughout my injuries, which is something that was important for me, because having 2 knee injuries before you even get to college is heavy. So for me, it was more just like, okay, they had the loyalty there, and I built a relationship with the coaches. So
just kind of tell me about the transition from high school to college, because you didn't start your first game, but you scored 14 points against Arkansas Pine Bluff. And then you started every game from then on out through the Elite Eight and all that stuff, all Pac-12 freshman, team. So what was that transition like, going from high school to college and being an impact player on that team?
I was grateful that I even had the opportunity to have that big of a role freshman year. But I heard a lot of the time when people are like, okay, the transition from high school to college, it's going to be a lot. And you hear it and you're like, okay, is it really? Because I feel like I've played basketball my whole life, but it's really just straight mental. You learn a lot of things physically, and you get to grow accustomed to how the college game works and everything, but it's really learning the reads and all the new plays. You know, being in my position, I played point guard over at Oregon State, so being a freshman, and I feel like I'm the young buck, and I'm like, how do I voice being a leader on the team if I'm the new girl and I don't really know what I'm doing and I don't necessarily know all the plays? So it was a lot for me to kind of pick up, but once I grasped it all and got a hang of all the plays and all the sets, I feel like I really got into a good flow when I was over there.
So I guess the big question is, you had such a good freshman year. And most people, when they have really great years, I mean, 28-7, Elite Eight, all freshmen, starting close to home, and now you're a Horned Frog.
I know.
So what was that process like, and, ending up here in Fort Worth?
Yeah, it was a difficult process because the culture over at Oregon State is really good, and I had a good bond with my teammates. So obviously it's like, oh, you don't want to leave your friends. For us, there was 8 of us, I believe, that left Oregon State, but simply due to the conference change. It was unfortunate because you're kind of relying on what football is doing at the time. And for us, Oregon State football, they were doing really good in that time, but just not enough to get to a big Power 4 conference per se. So for us, it was kind of waiting on the edges of our seat of like, will we be able to continue to play at the Power 4 level? Just because all of us kind of had that goal for ourselves of wanting to continue to play at the Power 4 level. So for me, that was kind of a turning point for me. Like, okay, what do I want for my future? I got a good glimpse of making it to the Elite Eight and being able to host and what that was like. So I was like, okay, I'm able to be here on this stage, and so I want to continue that. So it was a difficult decision, but ultimately, I'm very glad that I was able to even land here and be able to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, do it again, Elite Eight again, and all that stuff. And before we talk TCU basketball, how are classes going for you?
TCU education is very good.
Yes.
Top tier. They're very strict on it, but that in a good way. It's smaller classroom sizes, which I wasn't necessarily used to. Oregon State has probably triple the amount of students and of enrollments because it's a public school. So every professor at TCU knows your name. They know your face. So they're very involved with you and our schedules as athletes. So I think that was very good for me, but definitely is a challenge, and you really do have to focus in on the school.
So did I read something where you like fashion? Mm-hmm. Is that something you want to go to because you have marketing on there?
Yes.
But what is it about fashion that kind of intrigues you?
Yeah, I would say my mom's definitely rubbed off on me. She's been more of that creative mindset. It was between fashion or an interior design type of route, but with college and the college athletic world and the schedule, it's a lot of hands-on stuff. So I couldn't necessarily choose that major because I knew I was going to miss a lot. So that's where I really was going to go. And I think it's really just because I grew up with my mom always like talking about it and watching shows on it. I mean, my younger self would watch Project Runway, and I had a little sketchbook with all my sketches of fashion designs and everything. So it's just a little quirk that I have, but ultimately now it's kind of died down with athletics and stuff, but I have always loved fashion.
Did you help Marta paint she paints her shoes? I think for a media day, she painted got some pants. Yeah, I mean, is that ever a discussion?
No. Okay. I leave that to Marta. She's the highly skilled. She's taken that and ran with it. She's really cool. It's funny whenever we do any team thing and it's like, okay, build your own whatever, you design your own something. All of us are kind of like, we pull out Pinterest, and Marta just off the top of her brain just is already halfway done when we're just starting. So it's cool to have a very creative teammate like her.
What is it like being Donovan Hunter walking around TCU campus and all that? I mean, because of the popularity of the team and the community, such a tight knit. What is it like being?
Well, it's completely normal. Just walking around, no one really pays attention. But it is cool, the bonds that I've created with students in classes. I think I have a couple teammates that are really consistent with checking in on the games that are in my classes, and I see them in the stands. And they've continuously, there's been a couple students that I've, built a friendship with where they haven't missed a home game at all. So it's just cool to have those relationships and then being invested when I know that they also have their own social lives and their own things to do. But ultimately, it's just a testament to like the community that Fort Worth does have.
All right, basketball. Mm-hmm. Number 8 in the country. You're going for 15 straight wins, with Utah coming up here. And from your first year to now, what is the team like so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, I love this team. I feel like you hear athletes say it a lot, but it's truly like all of us are very dyed into each other, and we're really focused in on making sure that everyone's, happy here, finding their flow. We want everybody we like to say everyone likes to eat, and that kind of shows on the floor where none of us are selfish. All of us are moving the ball, and we're all heavily focused on just, okay, what do we need to do individually so the team can be better? And I think that's what's making this team separate from a lot of other teams, just because we all are so focused on what can we do for the team. And I think that's just what I love most about the team, because, you're going to step on the floor and everyone's 10 toes down for each other.
So everyone on the team is, you hadn't played with, right? Maddie, sure, last year, but again, like, what is that challenge like? And when did you kind of know that, yeah, man, we could be pretty good. This is a pretty good group.
Yeah. I mean, when Mark was, you do the recruiting stuff and you get to know the girls and you're like, okay, some familiar faces where it's like, okay, visit with Liv. Everyone knows who Olivia Miles is. So kind of piecing together like, okay, how would that work? Where would that fit in the system? Pac-12, I played against Marta, I believe, when she was at Cal. So I didn't personally know her, but I knew kind of her style of play, and I knew that she was one of the top people on our scouting report when we played them. So it was like, okay, I have all these familiar faces where I was like, I see the potential that we do have, but it is so hard with the transfer portal and so many different personalities and different backgrounds where you're like, will it mesh together fully? So I'm just very glad that it is meshing together. But I think when we did our summer workouts, it was very evident, like, okay, I know I'm one of the only returning starters on the team, and there's only about 4 or 5 of us that are returning even from last year's team. But all of us were just able to meet together and find a good flow really, really fast.
Well, I mean, it's obviously meshed really well for you because of the way you're performing. I mean, I think in the first 9 games, you're double-digit points. And then there was something that I read that, like, you've got career highs in basically every category since basically the Kansas State game that you guys lost, right? So your performance has skyrocketed as the team continues to get better. So what is it about your performance and kind of the work that you've put in to allow you to double everything that you've been doing since your sophomore year?
Yeah, I think it was off season just focusing on like, okay, what are my weaknesses and what are things that I wasn't doing necessarily last year that I wanted to really focus in on, knowing that I was going to be one of the only returners. So that way I came in with a different mindset and just more work that I added to my game. But ultimately, it's really just what can I do for the team? And I think that's what's helped my mindset of not really focusing on going into a game like, okay, Donna, you need to drop 15 points. I'm not focused on any of that. It's more just like, okay, if I can get one more stop for the team, if I can run in transition every single time, just the small things is kind of where I switched my mindset. And ultimately, it's just kind of been able to be rewarded in games. But I think that's just because all 5 of us on the court are so focused on doing the right things in the game that we're all able to get rewarded in different ways.
Last couple. Do you have any free time? Do you do anything? I mean, you're probably in the gym, like Mark says all the time. You guys are in the gym all the time. But what do you do in your free time? And where do you like to kind of hang out at Fort Worth? Friends, other friends, classmates? Like, what is that world for you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my free time is doing homework and going to class. But I'm a very simple human, so I'm a homebody. I don't really do much. I'm very family-oriented, friend-oriented, so hang with teammates. When my parents come in town, I'm able to hang out with them. But I'm a very simple girl, so I don't really need to do much.
So with New Year's, do you have any New Year resolutions or anything that you're kind of like set on? Maybe basketball? I mean, it's a tough question because people are like, I don't really.
I know.
There
are a lot of things that I can say. It's more just making sure that I'm present and I'm focusing on where my feet are. I think a lot of times I get ahead of the game and I'm like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this, and then I get really stressed out. So really just focusing on just being present and knowing that this isn't always permanent. Like college basketball is very temporary and it goes by really fast. So I think I'm focusing in on this next year, just being able to just take a step back and enjoy it and find the fun in everything. And just being positive, not complaining about things, just really trying to live life in a positive mindset. So
awesome. Well, we love watching you. Thank you so much for joining us here. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And we're going to be back on the other side of this break with Mark talking Utah.
You hate the rain? Yeah. How can anyone hate the rain?
So rainwater, why is it the best? Well, it comes from heaven, the sky. It literally never touches the ground. We catch it before it hits the ground. And as soon as rainwater hits the ground, it becomes groundwater. That's what all the other water is that you buy at the store or is coming out of your tap at your house. It's groundwater. And the moment water is in the ground, it starts to absorb everything, good and bad, salts, minerals, chemicals. Rainwater avoids all that, so we tank it before it touches the ground. Cleaning it is just a breeze because it has no sediment or no impurities in it. It is absolutely the cleanest, purest water you can drink. The most naturally sweet, sustainable source of pure water, fresh water on Earth.
Thanks to Donovan Hunter for joining us here on the show. We threw out a cool little, our research team kind of gets into it a little bit, especially with where you guys are from and kind of where this all started. But her hometown of Medford, Oregon is the only known place to have a Bigfoot trap.
Wow.
Associated with it.
I believe that.
And it was crazy. So she talked about, they also have the world's best cheese, and the River Wild movie was filmed there with Meryl Streep and Kevin Bacon. So we got to talk about that a little bit. So that was pretty cool. But every time we turn around here, Donovan Hunter is, I think since the Kansas State game last year, she has doubled her production in career highs. And the first 9 ball games this year, she's had double-digit points. So what can you say about this kid?
That she's incredible. Since that Kansas State game, for us last year to make a jump and finish the year and be able to do what we wanted to do as a team and a program, we needed Dono. And that Kansas State game, she wasn't quite at the level she needed to be. And the growth and the maturity that she has shown since then is just incredible. Just a testament to her work ethic. Jay, this kid has grinded and her sweat equity, and she's in there working on her craft and working on her game. This offseason, she had as good an offseason as any player I've coached, and she had a personal trainer. She was in there with our team. She got to go to the Nike Skills Academy, and that's springboarded into this year. And Jay, this year she has taken off, and she hasn't looked back. And so proud of her, but she's earned it, and her hard work has paid off.
We've got Utah here, and before we talk about actually Utah here, you've got a history with their head coach, Gavin Peterson. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Oh, we go way back. I mean, Gavin's incredible basketball coach, amazing man, but we go all the way back to my playing days. When I was hooping at the University of Hawaii, which is a long time ago, over 20 years ago, Gavin was a part of the Hawaii women's basketball program. And so he literally knows me since my playing days. And so it's pretty cool to watch his journey. And he cut his teeth in women's basketball and grinded through the mid-major levels and worked really hard and helped build an amazing program at Utah. And their head coach then left and went to the LA Sparks. And so a year ago, he took over the job mid-year, and this is his first head coaching job. Welcome to the Big 12. And so it's been fun. We've stayed connected this whole time during our journeys, each of ours, and I'm rooting for him. We talk often, encourage each other, and as you try to navigate the landscape of college basketball or college athletics over the last 5 years, you need people that you can bounce ideas off of and talk through. And so he's been a great friend and someone that we collaborate together and trying to help each other grow.
So I know that the teams are different. Last year when you played Utah, you were up big against them, and then they clawed back, and I think they were within 6 points at the end of the game, right? I think they were 23rd in the country. You guys were 10. Now you're 8. They're not ranked. So what should we expect out of this group?
Oh, an absolute dogfight. Last year we had 2 great teams that had good runs and went to March Madness, and each of us had to rebuild. The portal, every year you got to rebuild. So they have a whole new roster. We have a whole new roster. They don't change their system. They're a great pick and roll basketball team. They really like to shoot the 3. We have a lot of similarities in the way we want to play the game of basketball. They're very unselfish. So they're on their home court. We got to defend the 3-point line. They got 2 tremendous guards that are high level scorers, playmakers. But to win on the road, you got to be elite defensively. You got to rebound. And so far this year, we've done that at a high level. Defensively, the metrics, we're one of the best teams in the country. And then offensively, we got to do what we do. We got to get out. We got to push the ball. We got to get into transition. That's where Olivia is the best, is when she's in transition and she can see, and we got rim runners and shooters, and it allows her to do her magic that she does. But this is going to be a 40-minute fight. Every game in the Big 12 is hard to get, but getting road wins is so difficult, Jay. And we're going to see if we can squeeze out another one tomorrow.
Well, I guess in the Huntsman Center, some TCU history in 2010, there was a 4 overtime game that you guys played in.
No way.
Not you specifically, but TCU, and they pulled it off. TCU did. So that's kind of like a historic, kind of like in that center, but
I'm going to have to do some research on that. 2010, I mean, that's 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to look up.
I think it was like 105-96 in favor of the Frogs.
Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah.
105 tomorrow for the Frogs. I'll sign up for that right now.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We wish you good luck and Happy New Year and all that stuff. And I'm sure you're going to want to start the new year being 1-0. I'm sure that's a big thing for you.
Oh, we want to start 1-0, and more importantly, we just want to get another Big 12 win, get to 3-0. It's great to see you. We're excited for 2026. And Jay, you're incredible. Thanks for everything you do. And I know today's show was brought to you by Richard's Rainwater. And we're just proud and excited to keep building.
Yeah, thanks so much. Good luck to you tomorrow, 8 o'clock Central Time. Frogs Utes, brought to you by Richard's Rainwater and Texit Coin. Stay the Frogs with Mark Campbell. Thank you. Happy New Year. See you tomorrow.
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.